Dum, 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 bop, 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 bop. Dum, dum. Oh, I just
This
start
makes
dancing.
this music makes one of my veins throb. I'm not telling you what vein, but it
Once
throbs.
again, I'm putting it off. You're ruining everything. Oh my god. Right. Welcome back to this week's Film Guffs.
Film
And
Guffs,
this week's film is Goron?
Amistad?
No.
Oh no, it's Demons.
Demons! The historically accurate film of demons.
Oh, this is scientifically correct. This
Yes,
is the latest
absolutely.
research on demons.
Demons was from, I didn't write what year it was. I think it's 85.
1985.
Yes,
It
1985.
feels earlier.
Now, I was thinking, when I was watching it, it does feel earlier. Do you want to know why?
From the medieval times.
It was shot in, well, a part in Italy and part in Germany. And it has a very Coca-Cola schnitzel look to it. Where it's
got a
very American 80s, but there's something off.
Yes, it's people pretending to be American when they're German.
That's right.
And they go as far as there's a lot of Coca-Cola in it.
Yes. And
It's like
Blue jeans.
it was spoke about before, like the film The Machinist, which is trying to be America.
Yeah.
It's filmed in Spain.
Right, yeah.
Or The Dark Has Risen, which is supposed to be like England, but it's like Belarus.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
Angel
of
Has
denim in
Fallen.
this.
That was a recent
Angel,
one. Yeah.
Recent one.
Mhm.
Easter for tax reasons. It's from this film is like the epitome of like Euro trash,
Oh, very much so. Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
It's a sleazy film, and I'm looking forward to you trying to find some emotional heft in this film because I think you're going to struggle.
I'm going to stop you there. I have found
If you could
serious
try,
emotional
if you
heft.
get slice a bit of romance into this little pie,
It's not romance, but I've found something. I've found
Oh,
a theory. I've got a theory that no one else has had, and you can't
Oh,
fault
my
it. Like
you've
last
got
week's
to
Tremors.
stop doing these theories.
No. It's
No.
I've got a pen and I've got a pad, and I'm fucking using it.
Christ, you're ploughing your own furrow, aren't you?
It's just the way I'm
You're
sitting.
ploughing your... This this film was filmed
Yeah.
in 9 weeks.
Really? It doesn't look
Start to finish, 9 weeks. No, it doesn't.
it. Looks
it doesn't.
wonderful.
It's a primary colour number. There's greens, reds, blues.
Which I do
kinda
like
love
in
it.
a film, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? There is a production quality to it. Even though it is a
Yeah.
B movie, the script is
Oh,
you
you're
know.
saying this is a B movie? I thought it was a strong C.
a strong C.
A strong C.
But it does have production quality to it. That can't be denied. It
Well,
does
it's
look
that.
like a
It's
film.
Dario Argento was involved producing it, and he's a stylist.
Oh, very much
He's
so. It's
good-
all visuals.
Yeah, he's a
and-
stylist. I love the director's name, Lamberto Bava.
Oh,
Lamberto Bava.
Bava.
You know he's got a Lamberto Bava. You know,
Yeah.
Lamberto Bava. Yeah,
You would listen
it's
to him
good.
on set. Yeah, it's a wonderful.
It's a right palate cleanser. This,
You're ready for
Hey,
the
when
day
I-
after it.
eh?
You're ready for the day. Once you've watched this, you go,
Yes.
oh,
Well, I watched this early. I watched this early in the day. I was going to watch it late at night,
uh-huh.
but I got a bit feared, so I decided to watch it in daylight. I was looking this up to watch it, and I've got a DVD of this somewhere. I think,
All right.
but I was looking up, but there seems to be a film called Demons released every year since about 1950.
It does seem that way. In my research,
Yeah.
I found a lot of demons. Yeah.
There's a lot of demons. It's like it opens beautifully. It's like trains. And
Well, the way it
punks.
opens, it's very, very German
Punky.
80s.
I had a neighbour of mine, the council house we grew up in, 2 doors down. There was a punk guy who had the proper Mohican.
Uh-huh.
And the safety pins, the works, but he had a pet rat that just used to sit on his shoulder.
Unusual.
He would have been in Demons.
He would have been in it. And
Yeah.
lots of faux hawks and
Yep.
studs. That was It
Stud.
was a very good look to it. It's almost like when in the 80s when people went, directors and that, they were all dorks. So they would go, oh, we need punks and that, so just make them look this way. And they always get it slightly left to correct. They never get it.
But you remember when punks were considered scary?
I know. Now they're just delightful old men.
There's nothing scary about punks.
There's nothing scary about a punk.
I think goths are more scary, and goths are the least scary of all the peoples, all the human tribes, the goths.
That's true.
The Visigoths. The punks are just like glue and hairspray, essentially. And makeup.
That's it. There's nothing.
It's actually quite a nice style.
I agree.
I think it was the most creative of the subcultures, the punks. It was a kind of DIY. You could do anything. The punks.
Yes, it wasn't branded. That was wonderful.
There's something to be said for a punk girl. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what you mean? Like
a strong look,
a girl with maybe shaved head and heavily tattooed.
Look,
I kind of go for that. You may have noticed.
Yeah, I thought you might. She's on the train.
She's on the train now. This young lady is called Cheryl.
Oh, Cheryl!
And she has the most spectacular.
That's a Dundee name.
It's a very Dundee name, but she has a spectacular perm. And this is there's a lot of perms
expressive
in this.
Face. She's windows in it. She's quite scared throughout. Wide-eyed, a wide-eyed innocent. Is she a film study student?
Now hold on.
I think she's got a book about Billy Wilder, is she?
Oh well, here's the thing. You just said something that I picked up on. This is the start of my theory. She's a young girl. Now I know she looks about 32, but she's meant to be about 18, something like that.
Yeah, it's the Grease school of teenagers. Yeah,
but she's very innocent. And at the start of the film, and everything's very bright. Even in the train, the New York train that has German signs going past.
Yeah.
That is very bright. There's an innocence to this, and she's fun, and she's just looking for fun with her friend. There's excitement.
It's a phallic thing, the train, isn't it?
Well, you see, this is where my theory begins. But we will continue. She's sitting there on the train, and and it's all there's some punks about as we're describing it.
It's old people. It's pensioners and punks.
That's it. The usual mix. And they're a bit disgusted by the punks and that. Oh, disappointed. But in the reflection of the glass, she sees a face. What's this face? Doesn't know what this face is. Because that's a bit weird. Oh. And then come into the station, get off the train. Everyone seems to just disappear.
Oh, that's that's a classic horror trope, isn't it? It's like the cat people stuff. You suddenly found yourself
on your own
in a city. Oh,
and the echoes
scary.
Suddenly mean something. Now you'll notice it's slightly darker. There's a tone drop.
Oh.
All right? And you're clunk, clunk, clunk. Someone's following her.
Oh,
and out of
the metal-y scraping sound.
Yeah. And then appears the face that she saw in the reflection. The guy is there. And he looks sort of like a sexy, cyborgy Phantom of the Opera.
I thought he looked like if Michael Crawford was a psychopath.
It's a very good description. Actually, he has the look of every single cheap hotel guy on the desk that I've been to in Germany and France. They've got the same.
He's a cold, sweaty guy.
Yeah, and just he starts sort of following her. So she gets on this escalator, gets to the top. He appears out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and this is it. She's in trouble. But it turns out he's just a dork handing out tickets for a cinema.
Yeah, he's a dorky guy.
So
escalators are always. There's something creepy about escalators.
There is, because they take your movement out of your control.
The entrance to hell will be an escalator.
Oh, absolutely.
When we eventually both go to hell.
I'm
mechanised.
But the point is, he hands a ticket out, and it's just this. And she's like, he's just a
That's
dork.
some lovely print work, though.
It's a wonderful ticket.
That's a nice flyer. Isn't it?
That's a good one.
Metropole.
Now, Cheryl goes and meets her friend, who has the exact same perm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
right. Okay.
Now, the reason I'm going into detail about the start here, because this is my theory. She is innocent. She's a child. All right. Okay. But something is coming. She was on that escalator, and no matter where she went on the escalator, at the end of it, her destiny was waiting for her. This, right? I'm going to start and give you what the theory is, and throughout this discussion, there'll be more points to prove it. This is about puberty.
Oh.
This whole film is about puberty.
Okay.
She's
it's all
young.
about the blob.
It's all about the blob. Well, oh, didn't realise you were a medical man. Yes, it's it's about the blob, and this is her experience of it coming. This is her becoming what would be perceived in some cultures a woman. She's moving from being a child to a woman.
This is all about Dracula's tea bags. Is that what you're saying?
Oh Jesus! A scientist as well. I didn't know. Yeah, that's exactly what it's. That's exactly what it is.
Well, a friend has a more experienced look.
She does have an experienced look.
She doesn't even look like she's in her 20s. She looks like a hard 36-year-old.
She does. 4 kids.
It's and I love what's kind of it's got the weird ADR sound quality to their voices. I love.
Everything's dubbed, and it's
glorious.
How
isn't
can
it?
I say, it's dodgy to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
It's out of time to say the best. It's quite, but do you know what? It adds to the weirdness of it, because when you watch it like an American-made horror film, you're very used to these things. You understand where you are, but there's a sense of detachment and creepiness.
It's a kind of off-kilter quality to it.
Yeah, it's the same theory that gets the Hostel films working, because there's a fear in America of places like Eastern Europe that there's just lawlessness there. And that's why it could be set there, because it gives you this sense of foreboding. Yeah, this is a scary place.
So those two ladies, they were away to see Miss Buckles.
Miss Buckles?
Miss Buckles. But they blow out Miss Buckles to go to the middle of the day, go to a horror screening.
In this lovely cinema.
It's like the Edinburgh Festival.
It's exactly like that. And you go with so much enthusiasm and realise you've wasted your time.
I'd rather be eaten by a demon than go and see a bunch of Oxford kids doing some improv comedy.
See, when I run this country, the first thing that'll be shut down is the Edinburgh Festival.
Oh, it's a hellish place. I like Edinburgh, but not in the festival.
Not in the festival. It's just full of posh people.
I was once walking down the Royal Mile, and there was some suitcases there, and I thought, oh God, somebody's left their suitcases there, and a fucking hand reached out of the suitcase and grabbed my ankle. It was a contortionist inside a suitcase.
I would have taped it up and thrown him right in the fucking sea. Oh.
I would have dragged it to the camera obscura and thrown it off onto the cobbles, but I didn't.
Everyone loves
the Metropole cinema. It's like so 80s.
It's
the decor's wonderful. It's like remember like a kind of yuppies. It's like a yuppie's bedroom in the 80s, in the chrome and the black. And the black lights. In the black lights.
Not a good look.
There's the woman, the kind of lassie who's the usher with the leprechaun outfit.
When you're watching her with the leprechaun outfit, yeah, that's exactly it.
She's sinister.
You don't trust her. You're like, what's this what's going on with her? She's going around and she's stroking things and looking weird, and
she's sensual. She's got red hair, which is always
she's very sensual. But it turns out she's just a nutter. She doesn't do anything.
She doesn't know anything about it.
She's just a weirdo.
So hold on. So the guy with the mask.
Yeah.
We'll get into more the reasoning behind it. But this whole, is it more than just? She's not really involved.
She's not involved.
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
So is it just the guy with his mask all by himself?
That's just him. And there's no one else.
He's busy. He's Germanic. He's got that Germanic work
very
ethic.
much so. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it's like, so this is a kind of sacrificial place. They've all been lured.
So they've been lured into this cinema. And what it is they need blood sacrifices in bodies, so the demons can take over the bodies. And then can come back on Earth and take over the world and all this shit. And they have to start it in a cinema.
So it's been closed for years, the theatre, and it's been opened specially.
Yeah, it's a big...
they've given it... It's a lot of effort to do the whole place up just to slaughter everyone in it. Could they not have just opened up, a wee lick of paint, some Febreze on the carpet?
Even though this was a demon's... What do you call it when you work for a vampire? You're that...
A familiar.
This familiar guy that he seems to be, he is set this whole lobster pot bait up.
Right.
But he's also put a Coca-Cola machine in, and there's lots of he's went, I like these curtains
because the
here.
the leprechaun lassie needs to be paid.
This is it. She's been working there, and she's
working there. She's been hoovering.
Do you imagine that she went in for an interview and he's behind the desk going, and what is your experience? She's like, this is weird.
Scratching his eye valve and everything.
It's fucking weird, you know.
Well,
when
there's
you
that
really
cinema
look
in
into it.
Dundee people should maybe look up, which has been abandoned, and there's still popcorn in the machine.
Oh yeah, that's
And
just
tickets
beside
in the
me.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, just beside you. So as I say, I think if that starts getting done up tomorrow, and you see somebody dropping off a load of chrome, I would avoid the place.
I would avoid it.
Was you.
Do you know something about that cinema that's close to me that you're describing?
Yeah.
They removed when they left the tills, the TVs, every single thing is there, but they took out the stairs to the upstairs offices. They removed the stairs, the concrete stairs. They cut them out of the actual structure of the building and left, like you say, the popcorn, the sweets, everything's still there as it was.
Oh, what did they want the stairs for?
Well, I actually used to hang about with a manager as a kid, and he sacrificed a sparrow he found on a board on a wall once. I think that's all you need to know. He crucified it with nails.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And we're not talking about the film here. This isn't next to my house.
No, this is Dundee's scarier. We're inured to this kind of horror because
this kind of
living in
horror.
Dundee.
It was like documentary.
Yeah, it's horror. It's a lot. They're a mixed bag. The people.
Oh, and this is where you get your character development. Everyone comes in and they're all
you've
talking.
got the preppy. You've got the two randy boys. The kind of jockey kind of frat boys.
They're all American Germans.
Oh, very American.
Very American.
Do you think they grew up next to one of the air bases?
I don't know. I think they
Their
learned
dads
about...
could be American. You know what I'm saying?
It could be.
A GI. Could be.
It could be.
I love, my favourite's the blind guy. And I thought it was his wife, but I think it's his daughter.
I couldn't figure out what was going on.
He's something, isn't he? He's a very controlling individual.
He's an unusual chap.
Something very
sinister. It's very. There's something not right about the blind guy.
But I love the pimp.
There's a
pimp and his
pimp.
girls. Oh, what?
And one of his girls, shall we put it, becomes one of the most famous images from this film.
Yeah.
So what?
Is that Rosemary?
It's Rosemary. Oh, it was singing. Oh, Jesus.
She's trying on there because there's a weird, like, the motorbike.
There's a motorbike with
the
a ninja samurai,
and
a mask. And the blind guy goes, "Don't touch the mask," and he knows it's there.
I love the chromed mask.
That's a lovely mask, yeah.
Isn't it?
It's a Japanese
glistening.
demon. So she goes, look at the mask, I'm going to put it on. I've cut my face.
Oh, a little zit. It's like a little shaving cut. Oh, you have to watch them. It's the little cuts are the most dangerous. But then, you've got the kind of throbbing soundtrack. The soundtrack's so good.
The soundtrack is incredibly 80s. It's a mix between...
Painfully.
really crap British hair music to German pumping.
Living in a box. Remember them?
What was the other one? Mr. I can't remember. Mr. something like that. There's just shite through it, but it's really good. It suits the film.
It does. Yeah. But there is something. Cinemas are the darkness of a cinema. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's sexy. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying I ate a whole chicken in the cinema once. I just like wiped my hands in the chair in front.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of rendezvous going in cinemas. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I used to go to St Andrews, to the new Picture House, and on every Wednesday...
Oh, that's a terrible cinema.
It's a terrible shithole. But every Wednesday night, this is back in the 90s, I think they still might do it, they had a late show on at 11 o'clock. And it was all old films, but it was all original prints. So you would see like the original print of Evil Dead or, Life of Brian, just things like that. But I wasn't a real drinker like beer and stuff you're meant to do as a
No.
young man. I liked red wine. So I used to take a couple of glasses, a bottle of wine, I would have some cheese and crackers, and I would sit and spread it with butter and everything and just make
You're a sophisticated kind of guy, aren't you?
I would just sit, and there was a big semicircle around you because my mate just made the world's biggest joints you'd ever seen. So he's stoned, I'm drunk, threatening people. And we were
It's a tiny little screen in the St Andrews cinema. It's like a telly.
Yeah. Now, this is where we get to the next part of this. My theory.
You're talking the film within the film.
Right, the film within the film. Now, when you usually see a film within the film, they keep it looking like a film within the film. But this film within the film, actually, it's like you went to it. So you weren't sure what you were watching at some points. Because it was just shot like exactly the same. It was very confusing.
It's that's a kind of, I've seen a few of these kind of Italian Euro horrors, and they're often like a kind of a ruinous location.
Yeah,
it's very kind of castle-y. It's very kind of Fall of the House of Usher, kind of Edgar Allan Poe.
Got you.
I kind of quite like the medieval.
So they love this. They love this look. But in the film, there's a bunch of kids, and they found Nostradamus's corpse or grave and they dig it up.
How many of your mates from back in the days who having a joint loved about Nostradamus?
My mates back in the day all sounded like Joe Rogan. It was incredibly frustrating.
They all like Nostradamus. And there's always some plonker at the party and says, Nostradamus even foretold this party we're having just now. It's in his book.
My favourite one about Nostradamus is that in his writings, he used the word Hister. And the word Hister is close to the word Hitler. How did he know?
My God,
but I wanted to point something else out. There was a river that passed Nostradamus's house. Do you know what it was called? The fucking Hister.
No. he was Mystic Meg.
He was barely Mystic Meg. Barely.
He was the, what's his name? Him at Bent the Spoons.
That twat, Uri Geller.
Nostradamus.
Can I tell you now though? Uri Geller.
His tomb was like a wee Belfast sink.
It wasn't like a genuine tomb, I felt.
No, it's like a trough.
It was like if they were going to bury someone in it, they'd have to fold his knees up.
Right.
But
who filmed the film within the film?
I wonder who done that.
Was it the guy with the mask? His depth perception he wouldn't have made a good cinematographer, would he?
No, not with one eye that was sort of all evil looking.
But that's the best on the tomb. It says they will make cemeteries like cathedrals and tombs their cities.
That's scary.
That's actually quite. Ooh.
See, when you said it, it's scary. When it was said in the film, you go,
with the German American, the Germerican accent.
The Germerican.
The Germerican.
Oh my God! It didn't work. Actually, you said it beautifully there, but it didn't work in the film.
No.
So everyone in the film's going, "Oh, I hate horrors. This is so scary," and it wasn't.
Oh no. They really get scared though. Everybody's like
terrified.
Apart from the pimp and his girls, they're just smoking. They're living up.
They're having a great day.
They are having a great day.
So in the
and
film,
he's giving those girls a break. He's giving them a wee break. He's treating these ladies fine.
I bet they got an ice cream before they went in there.
Mm-hmm.
A lovely day out for those working girls and their pimp. Mm-hmm. But in the film, the girl, I think, in the film, or the guy, I can't remember, tries on the mask and cuts their face.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Now, Rosemary, she goes, oh, yeah, I cut my face on that mask. That's the same mask. But now, it starts hurting her and irritating her. So she's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom to check this out. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is the most horrendous, gross special effects I think have ever been shown.
I remember seeing this, like I said, when I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking hell, the big poisonous zit.
It comes out green and yellow out her face.
Yeah, melted ice cream. You can tell that smells a little bit. I once lanced an abscess on my old cat, and it came out like that. It came out green, and it stank.
Oh, Jesus.
It stank.
Oh, that's not good.
If you found a tomb, would you break the seal of the tomb?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't hesitate.
You would as well, wouldn't you?
I would. I'd just go in and kick things over.
Oh, just people, punks. That's the thing. Punks were always sniffing glue in cemeteries.
Yeah, the cemetery added to the appeal.
Yeah.
Now, going back to the blind guy watching this, I wrote a note about him. Holy shit, he was annoying because he kept going, what is happening? What is happening now? What's happening? And then
the blind guy, the blind guy has no sense of smell because his daughter's getting finger banged right next to him, and he just doesn't even notice.
He doesn't notice, and you can tell they're actors because the guy that comes in to smash the girl, he's wee
quite
short.
isn't he?
He's way below her level, shall we say?
She's the best looking lady in the film.
That's true, she is. And then,
beautiful green eyes. Yeah, she's a bonny girl.
I didn't get that good a quality of the film then. I couldn't tell the colour of her eyes.
I watched this in HD. I got a beauty.
Goodness.
An absolute beauty. So that Pluke was like Technicolor, ken? But the panic on her face, that's a good bit of acting. She looks a bit like Rick James.
Oh, yes. Now, this is Rosemary, the working girl who has the exploding pimple.
Yeah. Oh. And it's not just Pluke. It doesn't. It just she tears it. Oh,
she tears it apart. You don't see her. Now
it's a teenage horror.
Yeah.
Oh, this is you speaking about becoming a woman. Teenage years is like outbreaks of acne.
Okay, you're with me. I knew it was right. Let's go.
You're right.
I'm right.
You're right again. Jesus Christ.
We'll go back into the theory at this point. So Rosemary. She is the fear of this spot on her face, and it bursts, but she turns into someone else. Every time there's a realization of these changes, it's a gateway to adulthood, and it's frightening, and it's scary, and it's changing, and it's in a one-way direction. It's the escalator. It's one way. You don't go back. And Cheryl, this is her journey into becoming a woman, and it's frightening.
Yeah. Because a lot of guys sitting watching this will have had huge outbreaks of plukes.
Of course.
And then, oh my God.
And they're relating to, they're making this for the teenage market. They're making this for teenagers to go. A teenager can relate to this because they're experiencing a lot of what's going on in this thing.
Hold on 1 second.
No
I'm
problem.
just going to get the postie here.
Yeah, so I'll keep going.
Hello there, my man. How are you doing? You keep going on. I'm just speaking to Steve in the postie.
Okay, so the next one.
Cheese and ham. Thanks very much.
A prostitute. No, you know what? I'm going to listen. This is far more interesting than demons.
Thank you very much.
This is great.
See you soon, bud. See you, bud. Yeah, it's my post. I've got some exciting post. That's me done.
Was that cheese and ham I heard?
Well, I don't know what the hell was going on.
The guy just opened the door and shouted cheese and ham.
Cheese and ham.
That's incredible. And you got a letter.
I got a letter with cheese and ham.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I've got another letter here as well.
Oh, are you in trouble?
I don't know. I've got one of these days somebody... what's this?
Oh,
I've just received a real wacky... I'm sorry, I'm excited because I'm waiting for my anal deodorant. I get some really weird letters. No, that's fine. That's good. I know what I've got. I'm all good. Oh, that was interesting.
Okay.
You just saw a slice of my exciting life.
Well, you know what? I was going to keep talking about the film, but when the postie opened the door, shouted cheese and ham, and you got a letter, I went, I've got to hear what's going on. This is not a normal interaction with the postman. Wonderful.
My postie is tremendous. Clap for the posties, man. But the plukes, you're changing.
So now, Rosemary is a full demon. Big, scary teeth, yellow eyes.
Have you noticed that our rolling gait has got something of the Mick Jagger about her?
It does. I think they've just looked at that and went, that's the most terrifying move you could make. Let's do it.
Because in every film,
they
can, like, I remember Lord of the Rings, your favourite film. They had to have the goblin walk. They have to decide upon the style of it.
Yeah.
And so it's obviously been a conscious decision. They've said, guys, I want you to kind of move in this fashion. And the actors have said, let's go with it.
But her face is terrifying. That's the stuff of nightmares.
There's some incredible contact lens work in this.
And that's the 80s. I bet they were just like solid glass and painful. I bet they were like the worst things, yeah.
Oh, they'll have all had like the kind of pink eye. The whole cast.
Yeah. There'll be one
and
shared.
You know the bit where their actual eyes glow?
Yeah. Oh,
they
that's
actually put reflective paper in people's eyes.
Oh, that's insane.
I think it was just tinfoil. Come here a second. Feel like a yo-yo wrapper, just straight into the eye. But she's stalking about, and she's going after her pal, and it's a lovely way. It's edited in a really nice choppy fashion. This. And it's kind of wonky angles. It's all you don't know where up or down. It's quite.
You don't get an idea of the size because the cinema is big, but on the corridors on the outside of it are like 10 times bigger than the cinema, which helps make a film.
Well, that's kind of classical myth, the kind of the labyrinth. You know, the labyrinth, the lost in the labyrinth of the soul.
But this is it because, this is the theory again. This is the theory because it's a confusing time for a young lady.
Oh,
it's.
How was your puberty, Derek? Was it?
I started later than everyone else, and it was smooth. It just went very slowly. I didn't have this. There was my mate Grant, and we were sitting around our table having dinner at school, and he said his puberty happened in a split second, and he went, "Does anyone want to go up Ballyhell and get chesses off the trees?" And
I've told you this before. My pubes came in like Mr. Potato Head.
Just
when you squeeze them.
Yeah.
They just, I'm sure, from the grew in as I walked from the shower through my bedroom. My pubes just popped out.
Well, I was later, and I remember one day I looked down, and there was this huge, almost black hair just shooting out. And I went, where did that come from? And a week later, I was covered. Head to toe, covered. Hated it.
No.
The music in this.
Be smooth. But you, of course, you completely cover yourself from head to toe in Veet, don't you?
I love it. I even drink it to get the internal hairs away.
Oh. But
yeah. So here what are
now.
It's
a bloody. You're right. Though it's a sexual film.
It's
in a European fashion.
Yes. And now the one thing about the cinema, and a lot of people will recognise this when you go into an old cinema, they're based on the womb and the vagina because they were always in that pink colour. When you go and look around the cinema, it was always that sort of shapely Victorian floral frame design around it, going up to the middle bit with the clitoris. And they were all like that. That's just, that's a known fact that people designed it that way, and it was very vaginal and that. So the only place this could happen is in a cinema. This is about...
Well, cinemas are... I don't know if they've still got the impact that they once had, but cinemas were like the modern cathedral.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so
people didn't say,
You've got the mix of the cathedral, the vagina, the young girls, the innocence, and then this inevitability of change. They're all changing. That's the key, right? Okay. They're all changing. Okay. So, in my next note, I mean, the whole cinema, it's like the titty twister in From Dusk Till Dawn. It's just a big lobster pot. You're bait, okay?
Yeah.
So, at this point, everyone's watching the film, but there's a woman on the outside, and she falls through the screen because she's been attacked by Rosemary.
She's pushing against the screen, and that's a lovely bit.
It's a good shot. Yeah, it's a good shot.
It's undulating.
So, what's the first thing that happens with everyone when they see an injured woman? They panic. There's full on running all directions panic. But when the woman falls down and then gets up, the change in her is brilliant. Her fingernails
she's been slashed on the neck, and then
her teeth fall out.
It's visceral, the teeth are all falling out, and these little Nosferatu type little fangs.
Yeah,
it's not like she's not got vampire fangs, a canine. It's like the wee front. Oh god, like shark's teeth.
That's it. But the bit that made me feel a bit awkward was the tongue.
When you say awkward,
I'm going to stay awkward.
I think you got lost in the possibilities of that tongue, didn't you?
Our tongue shoots out. It's about 6 foot long.
It's like a baby's arm.
It's incredible.
It's thrusting. The animatronic in that, it's not the best.
It's not the best, but it's effective.
Let's just say the head doesn't look much like the person. It looks like a shop dummy, and they've just inflated a bouncy castle out the front of it.
That's probably the best description I've heard of that special effect. But then, right at this point, the blind guy gets his face poked to death, and it's quite horrific when she's sticking her fingers right in his eyes that don't work.
Throttles. The shaggers, they get throttled with the red rope.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
The dirty shaggers, they just get they're snogging, and then so continental, they're being choked, and they're just keeping on snogging.
They're keeping going.
They just keep going. So it's like an auto asphyxiation thing.
The guy's going, this is
That's
great.
Quite pervy. And then he finds her, he finds his daughter wife, and then he's obviously doing the old blind thing where you kind of touch the face, and he knows it's her, and then he gets his eyes poked out. That's overkill. They're blinding the blind in this film. They're blinding
the blind. But now comes up one of my favourite parts of the film, where everyone goes, right, let's get out of here. So they all run in one mass-tight group to the front door. The doors are bricked up, so they went, let's go to the other door. And they all run in one tight group. It's like Benny Hill. It made me laugh like anything.
It's really, well, that must have been the guy with the mask had bricked that up.
Yeah.
He'd had half an hour, and he'd bricked the whole place up and allowed... Well, that's supernatural. The concrete had set.
Yeah, I think this was genuinely supernatural going on. Well,
you missed a bit. I think you missed a bit. I thought, oh, this is all over you. It's when the screaming starts. There's all the fabric tearing, and there's the flesh getting plunged with a knife. There's a lot of Sonic stuff going on, and then they're going, "Oh, that's a real scream!" And one of the frat boys goes, "She goes and say that scream sounded real," and he goes, "Oh no, it's the Dolby system."
That's. I think that is very 80s, and that's a great reference to technology, which we all love.
You love technology, mate.
Oh, I love it. But
it's the Dolby system, Ken. That poor brave guy, Ken.
To be fair, I hate audio in the cinema. And I'll tell you why. Okay. I hate it. Because they always say, oh, it's so good, it's so good. But and it's like you're in it, and you've got all these sounds around you. It doesn't make any sense to me. I hear in stereo. I want to hear the cinema, the sound from where I'm looking at, and I don't want to hear a click, click, click from behind me where I look around and go, "What was that?" Oh, it's a stupid, fucking irrelevant sound in surround sound. I will tell you now, God. Surround sound is the biggest waste of fucking time in history.
You get very passionate about sound.
I hate surround sound. It's rubbish. It doesn't work. It's just a waste of time. It doesn't enhance your cinema experience. It just doesn't. Just thought I'd say that. Moving on.
But I love. There's a bit. I love the crowd running about. They're like a kind of mosh pit.
Yeah, they're just panicking. It's
and then great. They're panicking, and then the demons are giggling.
Oh, there's demons
talons.
now.
She's in amongst them.
Oh, it's good. It's good. So
the lassie runs into the storeroom. I would never run into a storeroom.
It's a bit of a dead end, but there might be some bleach there for cleaning.
She gets scalp. She gets her hair pulled off.
Her scalp slowly pulled off.
Peeled back like an onion.
Oh, that's a good shot.
Then they used it. Then they've trapped the rosemary demon. And they squash the fingers with a Coke machine.
Oh, yeah. The finger pops off. That's pretty gross.
Now, the man who takes to the lead, it's the pimp.
The pimp.
And his attitude, he's not going passively sit by. He immediately wants to fight. He says they've got to stop the film. They've got to destroy the cinema. Break it.
He figures it out. So, this is when... Well, they go up to the projection room. And it's really modern technology. They went, it's computer controlled. No one's ever been here.
Wasn't it?
Oh, that was.
That could have benefited from a wee creepy projectionist that's just sitting there having a wank and eating a cheese sandwich.
Cheese and ham.
Cheese and ham sandwich. But let's destroy, let's smash everything, and they go on a bit of a rampage, and it's the music of living in a box as they're destroying the
Words
place.
to live by. Let's smash everything, and it's really good. But something happens at this point. It just hard cuts to other characters outside the cinema you've never seen.
What are they about?
And it's just like these drug-addled...
It's a coke gang.
Yeah.
They're snorting coke out of a can of coke with a straw. And the main guy of the gang, the main guy, he looks like Sylvester Stallone. And they're just this really sleazy bunch of guys.
You can tell they're sleazy because the music is playing Billy Idol.
Is it? Oh, that's a good track, isn't it?
It's sleazy. He's sleazy.
Oh, it's sleazy. Billy, have you seen him now? He's leathery looking, and he's got the walking stick now, and he's just so sleazy.
It's
why did they meet? Why did they meet the people in the car? The drug.
There's no point because even later on in the film they play no part in it.
No, they don't. They just no.
They just all die later on. There's nothing happens.
They're just teetering about. I just think they want. I think they just wanted to show that punk girl's boob.
Well, they were able to get a boob with some cocaine on it. And
they have a comedy bit where they spill coke all over the car, and then they kind of meticulously. Oh well.
But then back in the cinema, it turns out it's not the film. The blind guy's still alive with his face all smashed up, and he says it's the cinema. But he's become like an oracle. He's like a kind of classical, the blind oracle. Yeah, exactly. So the girl, she's confronting puberty. So she thought it was just up in the projection box. Is this just in my mind? And I went, no, it's not in your mind. This is who you are now. Do you see what I'm saying? She's changing.
Yes.
She's becoming a woman. She doesn't want to. It's frightening. It's a scary time for a young girl. You know, there's a lot going on. Then you could look at the sort of emotionalist side of it. On top of that, there's a lot of goo, the blob. It just is. It's all there. There's just goo dropping out of everyone.
There's a lot of liquids.
A lot of liquids spitting out of people.
All kinds. The kind of team behind this, they've been testing out jams, jellies. Ken?
Actually, I've just had a thought. I've had a thought about my theory. At the start, Cheryl attracted the two very preppy, clean-cut boys.
Yes.
When she realised that it wasn't the projection room, it's the whole cinema, it cuts to the bad boys on the outside. Their sexuality. Coming towards Yep.
Their untapped sexuality.
They're heading towards the cinema.
Are they going towards her scent? Have they been drawn in?
It's something like that. There's a change in the air, and they're going. They represent her change in sexuality. God. Oh, I'm a genius. I'm a fucking genius.
The cinema's got a very 80s feeling as much as on the surface it looks well made.
Yeah.
But they pull those bloody they build the barricades. It's like balsa wood.
Yes. Everything they touch just powders.
It's just powders. It falls to bits.
So there's
the young couple, the lovely couple. He's kind of got a sailor suit on, and she
had a blonde perm.
Yeah, she's hiding in amongst the popcorn, and a zombie falls on her, a demon.
Oh,
and then she sees a hanged guy. She's having a hell of a time.
She's not having a good time.
And then there's a bit where they're trying to make their own go about the young love, and they both think they're both bleeding.
Yeah,
and both of them. Oh no, it's not my blood.
Oh God! Actually, there's a wonderful scene where they try and escape in the vents, and of course the vents are about 6 foot wide, and they're crawling.
Yeah. I'd never find myself in a vent.
Nah.
And they're hearing the demon claw sound on the metal.
Claw. And he's going faster and faster.
Coming from?
It's behind us. So he's brave. He says, "Get in front of me, and we'll keep going." So he's willing to sacrifice himself. But then he goes, "It's in front of us now."
It's impossible.
It's impossible. It's his girlfriend. She's the demon.
The way the demon process, it sneaks up on you.
Yeah, but that scene of him doing that was probably the best idea in the whole film, and it was just so clunkily executed, but it was really a good idea.
Are you saying demons lacks finesse? It's not.
It's wonderful.
There's a lot of stuff. You know how I kind of know it's not an American movie as well. There's no gun element.
Yeah,
Somebody in the cinema would be toted.
That's exactly right. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
That pimp would have had a gun if it had been an American movie.
But it's a European one, so he just has his wits.
He's a knife.
A knife. Oh yeah, he's got a flick knife. That's right.
He's got a flick knife, but that's just to pick his teeth. That's just to get the popcorn out of his teeth.
A very common thing around Europe. That a flick knife.
I'm sure my brother was on holiday with the school. They went on a bus trip to Germany, and they all brought back like sharpened battle axes.
Oh yeah, you could just buy anything.
You could just bring it back.
I think I've mentioned it before. There was my friend went to Lourdes taking disabled kids, and he came back with a flick knife with the Virgin Mary on it.
Oh my God, I'd love a flick knife with the Virgin Mary on it.
An old classic.
It hadn't been very well made though. He'd have flicked it and it would have had
just fire away. Yeah.
Straight to your eye. I watched a bit in the I've told you, been going through the Equalizer series, and there's a bit where he pulls out a knife and presses a button, and the knife blade shoots out and stabs Adamant in the throat.
I do remember that. And do you want to know something? You do get them. They do exist.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If I remember correctly, and I've never seen this since I was a kid, but I do have a memory that the spring was hanging out the end of the knife after he fired it. And I might be wrong.
I can't imagine it would puncture somebody's chest.
But they fire them with compressed gas. And they shoot right into you. And you get a knife, listen to this, that has a hole down the centre of the knife, and there's a CO2 canister, so when you hit someone, it blasts this air into them and kills them instantly.
Well, the Americans, this is taking a tangent, but the Americans used to train guard dolphins, and the dolphins had this air spike, so they would plunge it into Russian scuba divers and explode them.
God, it's so James Bond.
That's a very 80s technology.
Yeah.
You realise how the 80s were quite tawdry, weren't they?
Oh, they were. Everything was a bit shit.
Because the thing was, 80s, everything was quite controlled as far as pornography went. So movies had to kind of push the limits. We won't go into it too deeply, but as a teenage boy, you had to make the most of any little scenes in a movie.
There was always that one topless scene in a film.
So the boob bit, but then there's the boob bit earlier, but it's a razor blade boob thing.
Yes.
It's not the coke gang leader's called Ripper.
Yeah, and the razor blade boob thing, that is something you would only get made in Europe at the time. They wouldn't have done that in an American film. They wouldn't have cut a boob.
European movies, the women would have armpit hair, the Oxford hair.
Yeah, there was a very clear
Channel
difference.
4 used to always show kind of European movies after 12. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
I used to appreciate those quite a bit. No, they get back. The punks break. Do they break into the cinema?
The cops are after them, and they run from the cops, and the door at the side of the cinema mysteriously opens after they tried it and it was locked. So they went, let's go in here.
That lets out the blind, because the blind guy's become a demon.
He's a demon now. And the cops are there, and they get demoned.
The cops, because he shoots off his hand. That's quite a good special effect.
That's a good one. Yep. That's a good one.
The guy, he's like, the blind guy's like that. Harry Dean Stanton.
Stanton.
He kind of has that. It's a very thin look.
Yeah, he's got that.
So that is the demon pestilence has got out into the Italian German world.
It's New York. Calm yourself down. It's New York. So by this point, they're all there. The baddies are running on the outside of the cinema. Well, in the foyer and that. The drug addicts rather. And in the cinema, everyone's went, right, let's barricade ourselves in here. So they've taken everything, piled it up. And they went, oh, there's something moving there on the barricade. And a hand shoots through. And if you look carefully, there's a guy at the side jumps directly 6 foot up in the air. Which, to be fair, I would do if a demon hand shot through anything. But it's a really funny jump.
Anybody could crawl through it. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't keep anything out. The balsa would barricade.
It's a good point. But at this point, we get the fight. It's a full-on fight where the demons are coming in, people are stabbing them.
Slashing. They're slashing with the talons.
It's wonderful.
They're not. They needed somebody with a bit of military training to organise the battle back against the demons.
And it kind of falls apart a bit. Yeah, it's messy.
It's messy.
But
it's messy.
Cheryl and the preppy guy, the blonde German sort of Hans Gruber type, they crawl their way out, and they get to the outside, which, you know, it's going well, and they have their friend with her. Oh no, Cheryl's friend starts turning. It's very sad. But
Cheryl keeps saying it's all her fault. She kind of knows in herself she's behind it all.
She's behind it. Do you see my theory coming? Yeah.
Our friend has a kind of some low level, some latent psychic abilities. Because she's always seeing something. It's like she can glimpse behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah, that's it.
But the pal, what's Cheryl's pal's name? Is it Tracy?
I can't remember. We'll call her Tracy because she looks a very
she's
Tracy.
Like, who are you? Her demon.
Yeah,
it's
a bit confused.
It's a different style. It's like, yeah.
It's a bit confused. It doesn't know where it is. So,
It's birthed into the world. Oh my God.
It's birthed into the world out of this girl's back. And it bursts out the back. And, it's really horrific
the demon that emerges from her back fanny, that's like a pure out gargoyle.
Yes.
That's something off Notre Dame, isn't it? It's like it's like a Doctor Who creature. It's got horns, it's got the full shebang.
It's very fetus-like. You see where I'm going with this? Yeah.
But the midshade guy, the two prep guys, he kills the demon with like an aluminium vent cover.
That's right, he just smashes the fucking head in.
But he smashes the head in, but he creates the back fanny with it. He slashes.
Oh, it's really bad.
And it cackles, and then does it scuttle off? The little...
I can't remember what happened is you just never seem to see it again because it was an expensive thing to do. So
but what's disappointing with the Coke gang? They break in, and you'd expect them to break in, and then there would be a bit of chat between them and the people in the cinema. But they don't interact in the slightest.
They don't. They just all die.
They just all get slaughtered. And they don't have particularly remarkable deaths.
No, some of them are just like off screen, or it's just it was kind of a pointless bit. But I think they were there to represent.
It's almost like this film was made in 9 weeks. But there's a very poignant bit where the main guy, the two guys, they're called Kenny and George.
Kenny and George.
But George, I think George says to Kenny, "You've got to kill me."
That's right.
He knows he's going full demon. And it's the most 80s weapon of all weapons is the samurai sword.
Oh, it's a good sword, though.
And he immediately becomes a dead-eyed, like, samurai assassin.
He does. He goes from just a horny young guy, 18 years old, 38.
He cuts his head off, and it's like they've just squirted tomato sauce. There's a big
splat.
But the blood work generally is quite good in this. The blood has a kind of... It's not a hammer blood. It's got a gelatinous look.
It's demon blood.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Now,
but he's...
The German... Well, George.
George.
He turns into this action hero instantly.
Yeah, he's got the muscle showing. He's got the motorbike and the samurai sword.
Oh, God, yeah. Now, the motorbike, which was in the foyer of the cinema. He gets on it. He gets Cheryl on the back.
It's full of petrol. It's ready to go.
Full of petrol, ready to go. Now, he rides not up and down the aisles of the cinema. He runs across the tops of the chairs, chopping heads off as he goes. Then awkwardly turns slowly at the bottom and does the same back and forward. Now, this goes on way too long. He should have just done it once or something, but
Yeah. You know when somebody's chasing you, it's like Benny Hill. They're chasing them in a circle.
Yeah.
If they just waited, he would just...
come back.
Yeah. But I know it's the demons do not like the cold steel.
It kills them. They
don't like it. They don't like it.
They don't like it.
Has the sword been placed there by a higher power?
You see, this could be it.
Is that God's motorbike?
Well, here's the theory with the motorbike and the sword, is that these are... There's a way out of this menstrual change. You will get a way out, but you have to deal with it yourself.
Okay.
You have to. This is a part of growing up, and it's there. The tools are there. You just have to know how to use them or when to use them.
I'm going to throw out a theory.
Okay.
In a woman's menstrual cycle,
yes,
there's a point of the cycle where women find very masculine men attractive.
Okay.
And then later on in the cycle, they want very soft, cuddly, fatherly men.
Genius.
And it's at that point in the cycle he's got the ripped muscles.
Yeah.
He's on the bike. He's a real gung ho.
Oh, he's the action hero through and through.
He's the action hero, and she responds. She's wide-eyed. She's in the middle of this destruction. She has a complete wide-on for him.
Oh my God!
She slips off that bike. You know what I'm saying? She falls backwards off the bike.
You're totally right. This is again. I'm a genius. I'm a movie reviewing
you're a
genius.
Movie genius. Yeah. You can cut straight through all that. You can cut to the core.
Cut to the quick. This is it. This is it. I can understand it. I'm like Barry Norman times 3.
Yeah.
Oh
but
my God.
He blossoms. He seems a nice guy.
Seems a nice guy, but
at one moment he's trying out the old popcorn trick. And does he try it? Can we recreate him? And the next minute, but he's doing quite well. There's not really that many demons, and he decapitates most of them.
Fucks them up.
He fucks them up, but then a helicopter falls through the ceiling.
Unexpected. Now, I've put the word unexpected at this point.
Were you expecting that? The thing is, I've seen this film before, and for whatever reason, I forgot a helicopter fell through the ceiling.
I forgot about it as well, because I've seen it. I haven't seen it since the 90s or something, but I remembered every part, and I went, wait, did I see this part?
What's
Have I seen
noise?
it today?
There's a helicopter.
A helicopter.
Is this the director's cut we watched?
I don't know, but there's this sound and it goes and I'm like, what is that? And a helicopter slowly is lowered through the roof, and it's like, what is happening?
And then it's like the scene in the Twilight Zone where Vic Morrow gets his head lopped off.
It's
in real life. The helicopter, just like the bike's ready to rock, the helicopter's got one last spin in it.
One last spin to chop the demons' heads off.
They didn't really have the budget to make that look so effective.
It didn't have the sense of speed or violence. It just went chug, shoot, and their heads just popped off their head.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
So I love the bit as well when he's got her in his arms and he's on the winch. He fires up the winch.
Oh.
He seems to know exactly what he's looking for as well.
He knows how to use a helicopter. This is a fact.
Yeah, he knows how to use a helicopter. Is he maybe are they supposed to be soldiers or students? Can I mean?
Well, see, here's the thing.
Yeah, he's an engineer. He's an engineering student. He's not an art student. He's a practical man.
This was filmed in Germany, and if you were back then, you were conscripted. So they would
so
say
he's done his national service.
He's done his national service, and they've went,
So he's seen a helicopter. He's like, there'll be a winch in the back of this.
He knows how to use weapons. He can fight. He can do stuff, and that's it. They've kind of forgot that if you're from New York, you didn't do your sort of conscription. So they've got it mixed up. Right. They've done that.
They've gone to the roof, and like the wee generic city they're in has gone full demon.
Full demon. Demons everywhere.
So it's like
windows.
It's Dundee Saturday night. You see demons throttling people in the windows. Things have got bad very quickly.
It's got bad quickly, but now here's where the fight, the guy, the Phantom of the Opera guy appears, and there's a big fight. But do you notice how they kill him? They work together.
They
work together. Now this is part of my theory. Because
it's quite. I hate to see stuff going into people's. There's a lot of eyes getting.
Yeah.
And it's the rebar going straight through the.
Oh, you'll like John Wick 3 then, where he slowly puts a knife into the guy's eye.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I actually put it in slow motion so I can really appreciate. I think there's a film. Is it not Zombie Holocaust where the woman's head gets like skewered onto the giant splinter? And it goes right through the middle of the eye, right through the cornea. You're like,
not pleasant.
Yeah, it's quite a battle.
It is a battle, and they almost lose. And in the end, they manage to use a lever system to squeeze his head onto some rebar, and it goes through his eyes and kills him.
Is he? He doesn't feature in the film within a film, is he? He's not one of the characters in the film within a film.
Oh, I wonder if he's playing one of them. I never thought of that.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I maybe have to rewatch this in another 5 years' time for now. There'll maybe be another scene like a helicopter I've just not missed. How do you forget from a helicopter?
I forgot it as well. That's a weird thing. And then at this point, right now, this is where, you know, they go, where are they going to go? So they get onto the ground, and there's demons everywhere. But this Jeep comes up, and it says, get in, and it rescues them. But do you notice the colour of the Jeep? It's white. It represents a tampon or something, maybe. I don't know.
No, what I immediately thought was, these are the Italian gunner family.
Yeah, they've all got their guns.
They're the gunners. But they've been waiting.
They're waiting on this moment.
But they're all blonde. They're like Hitler Youthy.
But
they've been training up.
But I think this is how it ends.
The wee kid's called Carol. That's a very German name.
Yeah, it's very... But she gets out, the demons are coming after her, and this is like the realisation when some people have the shock of adulthood. And they go, so this whole thing is about a young girl, in some ways losing her innocence, gaining her sexuality, becoming menstrual, experiencing that, and then coming out the other side, realising that this is actually a journey she's on now, and she's riding in a big white sanitary towel.
Okay, into
Demons
the sunset.
2, Cheryl learns taxes.
Well, but she becomes she gets very menstrual and becomes a demon and gets shot in the head.
This is a possibility of all women in the menstrual thing, but yeah, this is it. So I think,
and it's a wee kid just calmly offs her, just shoots her,
and
she's
in the
just
face.
lying. I have seen junkies in Dundee lying in the road like that, just jaundiced, just sparked out in the middle of the road. It's bleak, isn't it? It's not a cheery
very
ending.
bleak ending, which sometimes I like. It sets up.
I love I don't like happy endings in films.
No, I don't. I don't like the happy ending in the sense that if it's too tied up. Do you know what I mean? You can't just have this incredibly traumatic experience and go, oh well, moving on.
There has
to be.
There's never an inquiry, Ken. People just go on with their lives. Get all the kind of Hollywood injuries.
Now,
like a bullet wound in the shoulder.
I think I watched Taken 3. And
oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
In it, he just kills tons of people, creates havoc everywhere, and in the end, the CIA got to him, well, these things happen, eh?
These things happen. No, but he wouldn't be walking about the street after the first one. He kills about 60 people in Paris.
Exactly. But that's
and where... Taken 3's bad because he's got like a horrible, rusty wank dungeon where he keeps all his stuff.
Keeps his stuff.
What's he needing it for? I thought he was retired.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's a
weird guy.
That's the one that has the famous scene where he jumps over a fence and what is there, 19 cuts to make it look interesting. It's an amazing scene. Really bad.
He still has a bit of sexual prowess, Neeson. But it's a potency to the man. He's a lolloping. He's like a big Clydesdale pony.
Oh, that's not.
He canters about. I've heard he's got a thing like a Shetland pony as well.
I've heard this as well.
Yeah. Demons. I enjoyed it. It's just a kind of. You could do a wee shower after watching it.
It's a very dirty film. I put that down. You just said that, and I put it's a very dirty film.
It's a sticky film.
Sticky. It's pretty gross, and it's wonderful for it.
That cinema will reek.
It's going to be a lot. You're going to have to get a carpet.
It'll reek like the old ABC cinema in Dundee. Just BO. Liquids. Sticky carpet.
Juices.
Let's just say if you dropped a bit of popcorn, you wouldn't retrieve it and eat it.
No, you wouldn't. You would get some sort of... It's a wonderful film.
How would we follow up this bad boy?
I don't know. Do you have any suggestions? It's for the next one. What people can look forward to next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it because
we've
done some old classics? So could we do maybe a more modern film?
Can we move? Can we move from the 1980s?
Oh, of course we can. We can, because we're grown-ups. We can do anything we fucking choose.
We can do whatever we want. I'm trying to think of a film.
I don't know.
This is quite difficult.
Yeah,
it's not like we're busy doing anything else.
This is true. It's we have a bit of time on our hands at the moment. But I'll tell you what, we'll think about it. But
we'll think about it.
Listen to this. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Demons. Go and watch
Demons.
It. It's brilliant. Great fun.
Demons, sponsored by Kotex. Hey, there was a Coke machine, but there wasn't a tampon dispenser in this film.
No, the tampon was the car at the end. Keep
there
up.
Was the white car at the end, the white Jeep.
I have, and actually, if you look carefully, there was splats of blood on it.
Was there?
There was.
It had a wee string hanging off the back.
I'm telling you, my theory is flawless. It's perfect. Until next time, I'm Derek Vindas.
Enjoy yourself, people.
Bye.
Wash your popcorn.